How's it going, guys? Oddly Unorthodox with another Chaos Dwarf gameplay. A 2v2, we're playing Chaos Dwarfs with Dark Elves against Kislev and Vampire Counts. So when sort of theory crafting this build, known against Vampire Counts, I like Chaos Dwarfs against Vampire Counts a lot due to the, everything has flame attacks. Hobgoblin archers have flame attacks. You can take the Regents, the Renowned Infernal Guard, they've got flame attacks. Magma Cannons, flame attacks. So let's slow this down here. So I noticed I didn't really pay attention to the map choice. And this is the map that got chosen, which is a bit of a nightmare if you've got double cannons like I did. Bringing double cannons purely, they're good at taking out what are they called? Blood Knights, Vargulfs, Terrorgeists, anything big, undead and scary, they'll punch through. Vlad, Manfred, just great all-round purpose. So let's go for our build. I went a bit cheaper on the Lord this time and literally just took a source of profit with metal. And just kept in with things like Glittering Robes, Sear and Doom. Final Transmutation was going to be the big one. And then we've gone triple Infernal Guard. And then we've gone triple Chaos Dwarf Warriors with great weapons. And then hiding in the trees, we've got 3 squads of Goblin Labourers and some Hobgoblin Wolf Riders with bows. So the idea behind this build being that we've got a beefy front line, 6 squads dedicated to holding the front line. Infernal Guard are absolute units, 100 armour, 90 leadership, 59 melee defence. They just really a menace to try and get through. Charge defense again, large, armoured and shielded, and then we've got some great dwarf warriors just to deal with anything big and ugly, cavalry, stuff like that. Good at getting that armour piercing melee in. Double magma cannon, because it's just, you can't play Chaos Dwarfs without bringing, something big and scary like that. Now, this would have been an okay build for the likes of sort of the Kadai Fireborn and stuff like this. The only worry is if he went super wide, that would have been worthwhile. But due to the fact that he's gone a hell of a lot of cavalry, and you can see that I go scouting with the Sorcerer of Profit because I can't see these units yet. So we send the mage out in a second. And then when you get put in a position like this where you don't know where the enemy is, you've got to form a box. It's not truly corner camping in the far back of the map, but there's a lot of ways I can get flanked here, and I want to get the use out of my magma cannons as much as possible. So you'll soon see if I start playing that we send the Sorcerer of Profit out to go have a look, see what we're fighting against. And you can already see the enemy's got a massive elite force of, Warbear Riders. We've got 4 we've got Black Knights, Blood Knights there, Hex Wraiths, and then you've got double Hex Wraiths here with double Blood Knights. Yeah, it's quite a scary force. Double Warbear Riders that have got chevrons on. No chevrons on the Blood Knights, but you can see that it is actually quite a terrifying force that they're packing. A lot of cavalry, a lot of flanking potential. So you can see straight away, I build a box formation. We send the Infernal Guard out to hold the big lines. And if anything, I'm going to show you how to make a box formation and how to keep a box formation working on Total War. Not a massive fan of box formations, but they do come in handy. You can see the magma cannons are popping shots into the Blood Knights, taking models off them. And that's all that we're doing, is just using them really to chop through the Blood Knights and cause a bit of damage. You can see that squad's been absolutely demolished. Yeah, the fact they're breaking as well hopefully means that we're about to get some extra damage from that. Absolutely demolishing firing angles. And then we now rotate what we're firing at because we can see the enemy. A lot of armoured Khazars. And you can see I've done my little bit of a scouting mission. Now, to show you guys the box, we've got Goblin Labourers holding this side, which is fine because there is some additional Chaos Warriors with great weapons there to hold there if they need. Infernal Guard here. Great Warriors. It's just making sure you've got enough squads spread out that you can breach as many holes as they can try and punch with their cavalry. We've got the artillery advantage, and I plan to use it because if I go out and meet them in combat, they're just going to sweep the cavalry round and destroy everything in my backline before I can do anything about it. So you've got to push the advantages, and even my Dark Elf player knows that that's where our advantage lays. That's why he's also laid into the box, and he's holding his Cribdis, Chilla Santa, and his little warrior goon squad there. But you can see all we're doing is punishing on what we're hitting, doing as much damage as we can to these squads, making sure that realistically the ball's always in our court and we're playing to our advantage, not the enemy's. This is a build that doesn't require much knowledge to pull off, so if you're a new player looking on how to get into multiplayer, a dwarven box formation, it works the exact same for other dwarfs, the normal dwarfs, and it's just as effective. It may feel a little bit cheesy sometimes, but it's the same as a rush strategy for the likes of the Wood Elves, or a massive cavalry flanking strategy in this case for the Vampire Counts. He's going to be trying to get some healing back up because obviously he's took a lot of wounds. And we're now putting some little shots into Little Grom. But we're going to swap onto the Warbear Riders in a second, and you can see we row him over here. And on this guy, literally all we're doing is just constantly moving around, dropping final transmutations. You can see there, we get a final transmutation on there, which is going to sap away at them. And that's all we're doing. I mean, you can, if you get a real nice one, save for an overcharged, but I was just trying to do what little damage I can to soften them up before they charge in. We have some wild zombies coming in apparently. And then you can see that they've decided that they can't play this long game with me. My artillery is too punishing, and they're going to have to try and break this box. You can see that straight away those Infernal Guard come across to patch this gap so they can't sneak through. And these Great Warriors come across to patch this gap so they can't get through there either. And that's all we're doing, is constantly shifting the lines of the box. So we're constantly answering for anything he comes. So he charges in, but he's now, just friendly fired the hell out of that. But you can see this one's taken some injury, but it's fine. You know, 1500 value already. And we are now popping shots into his artillery, into his cavalry, breaking those hex wraiths off, changing target and going for the blood knights next. He's going to try and break the box this side with his Warbear Riders and his cavalry around here. He's obviously moving in position for that role, but you can see the cannons are happily popping shots, and I will happily sacrifice these Goblin Wolf Riders if it buys me more time to get more shots off with the cannons. So we now move along this side, and you can see the Warbear Riders are sneaking around. A nice pit of shades from my ally there. I think he's got a Shadow Caster. And you can see these Dwarf Warriors now are running to fill this gap to stop them being able to charge down here into my Magma Cannon. But now they're fighting Infernal Guard here that have got obviously charge defense against melee. And now we're going to roll the Great Warriors in to offer the extra damage. The Hobgoblins are really just doing what little damage they can. I brought them there just to try and avoid and try and get rid of some regen. We're sneaking these Hobgoblins up to try and get shots into those guys, and you can see the cannons are ripping these guys to shreds. Meanwhile, I've still got a lot of units that are full HP, and I've got a lot to bring. You know, the Goblin Labourers take the charge from the Warbear Riders, and that's all we're doing there. And then as soon as we can, we're going to mush some more units into here to help defend against the Warbear Riders and make sure they can't get through. You can see that we've held the line there. The Infernal Guard are not going to get beaten by these Blood Knights, especially when I can just go over and buff them. The Magic Cast is so good for the buffs that it brings to the team. And you can see here the Blood Knights are not having a great time. It's not a good fight from against Infernal Guard. Infernal Guard are hella tough. And you can see that we've run the Hobgoblins back now. They've been annoying. And straight away we're turning the cannons start pummeling the sort of cavalry that we can. Those Blood Knights have had a bad time, and you can see that we've moved these guys in to shut the Warbear Riders down. What you don't want to do is say group, send this unit there, send that unit there to group. Yes, you're going to kill them quicker, but then you're going to leave a massive hole open. The idea is that the enemy can't get through to your artillery. Knowing that the artillery is going to carry this game, you know, it's already at 2,400 value and it's still got 8 shots left. This squad's got 7 shots left. And you can see that now we're going to send our artillery into those Blood Knights, shut down these guys, and you can see the damage they take is just insane. We go over here. Are we dropping any spells? I think we're just using final transmutations, if I'm honest. But I will speed up. You can see that the box is just ever moving. You know, these Blood Knights think they've gotten through. We pulled these Chaos Dwarf Warriors across. These Hobgoblins are about to start shooting them. And we've pulled this squad across as well as Infernal Guard. And you can see that he gets collapsed on too quickly and he's now got to back out from that fight. These Blood Knights are going to be caught by the Infernal Guard. Obviously these Hex Wraiths are being broken by the fire ammo. And you can just see it's not a great time for him. But you've got to play for strengths. People may say this is not a fair strategy. But if I went out there and just charged my units up, he would have been able to catch me with his superior mobility. Chaos Dwarfs are not fast in the slightest. So we're playing to our strength here and we break those Blood Knights off. They're good as gone. I think this is a final transmutation. We pop here. Well, he tries to use a Banzel Dance Macabre to try and chop through these guys. But we're going to go over, cast some magic of our own, and make sure that he doesn't get to have as much fun as he'd like. See, now these Infernal Guard are back, guarding these two. This squad's still sat here. And you can see that was a bit of a waste because that is the end of the game there. But let's look at some of the values. You know, you're looking at how expensive these units are cost-wise. 470, 723, 731, 583, 133, 302, 185, 367, 600, 200. They got absolutely demolished by the fact they could not get through. I mean, look, even here, he managed to get some good value on these guys because they sat and waited for the enemy to come fight us. He had Blackguard that just spent the game minding their own business. You know, it's really well played. You know, good pit of shades from that guy. He got hurt a lot for his value. And then we look at my forces, where, you know, you can look at the Goblins. The Goblins did, I mean, they made double their value, and they nearly made their value. Hobgoblin Archers made their value. These guys didn't really make their value, but they did their job. A squad of great weapons that was sat on the right hand flank, just minding their own business in case I need them. 750 on those guys, 250, 126, 465, 400, 1200 on the caster, but then 3,234 on the magma cannon, 3,480 on the magma cannon there as well. If you've liked this video, guys, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. This has been Oddly Unorthodox. I am streaming on these days as well. So make sure you check out that if you're interested, playing a bit of No Man's Sky, but also Total War here and there. And I'll catch you on the next one.